If you want to know what the NDP is doing for private sector jobs in Alberta, it's absolutely nothing. Take a look at this graph from StatsCan data that shows a significant increase in public sector jobs while private sector jobs have plummeted. Projected losses in the energy industry within Alberta for the year ending 2015 are at 100,000. That represents about 36% of energy sector jobs. But hey, if you want a union job, all you have to do is look at the Alberta Health Services page, and voila, there are 445 jobs available. I'm not saying that Alberta doesn't need healthcare workers. I'm saying that if you want a job in this province, the only jobs available are in the public sector. If Rachel Notley and the NDP aren't the problem when it comes to massive layoffs and oil and gas majors moving projects out of Alberta, why are our unemployment rates higher than in, say, Saskatchewan or BC? According to the Government of Canada, the unemployment rate in Saskatchewan is 5.5%, while in BC it's 6.2%, and in Alberta it's 7%. This is the highest rate we've seen since 1988. Taking a look at rig utilization from the Canadian Association of Oil Well and Drilling Contractors, it's 5 to 20% higher in Saskatchewan and BC when compared with Alberta. Of course, it's important to note that there are many more people employed in the oil and gas industry in Alberta, and there are more rigs operating. But when we convert these values to percentages, it allows us to compare. An average rig in Alberta employs 145 people, and that's not including the engineers, geologists, and techs and other employees that are required to keep a rig running. 5% of total rigs in Alberta equates to about 27 rigs and 4,000 jobs. 20% of the total rigs in Alberta equates to about 107 rigs and 15,515 jobs. Think about how many people could be back in a job if the NDP only cared about the private sector and oil and gas jobs. But they don't care about the families that they're affecting, and they don't care about these people losing jobs. They care about their own, as I showed in that initial graph. Oil and gas companies will go to where they can make a profit and where governments are supportive of the industry, like in BC and Saskatchewan, where there's no increases in corporate taxes and no looming royalty review. And these factors, they may seem minute, but they're really not. We all know that OPEC and low oil pricing are the major culprits contributing to this downturn. So what that means is all oil and gas producing countries are suffering from the same low oil pricing. You do not attract investors by increasing corporate taxes and royalties as a result of new royalty structuring. And when you have a government in place that's all for the public service and has little solutions for the private sector, Alberta bleeds private investors and Alberta bleeds jobs. For TheRebel.Media, I'm Holly Nicholas.